Welcome back to the Doggone Truth About Rescue and kicking off 2026. Somehow we're already here. We have two special guests tonight with Cyrita and I, and we have Kelly and Craig. Not your first time on the podcast.
No, not for
But our
either.
first guest of the year. Welcome back.
Good.
If you guys want to just take a minute and introduce yourselves and your role with Always and Forever. So Kelly, if you want to start.
Sure. So I'm Kelly Fry, and I am the intake coordinator for Always and Forever.
And Craig?
I'm Craig Alford. I'm a volunteer with Always and Forever, and I have been the pup transport coordinator for the past 6.5 years, and I also sit on the board of directors.
That is so long. Kelly, how long have you been with Always and Forever?
I think it all kind of started in 2018, but didn't officially. And then I kind of did volunteering and different jobs here and there. I'll say 2018-ish, 2019. And then I think around 2020, we really kicked off the intake side. So
you being the intake coordinator and Craig being transportation, I'm sure you two work together very closely.
Yes.
Is that a correct assumption?
We have a slogan. She tags them, I bag them.
Yes.
Do you want to just talk through that whole process of what happens first, the chain of communication, and how that all works on the back end with Always and Forever?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start kind of with my side because that's where it all kind of begins, is really finding the dogs that need us most. Sometimes a cat here and there sneaks in, but I typically do all the dog side. Really, it's about working with other rescues, seeing the daily needs online, watching the 24 pet connects, watching the kill shelters a lot, just seeing what the last 24 hours is going to look like. Sometimes it's those immediate needs that are within a couple hours, if not even less than that. And then really kind of getting in touch. So the one person that we'll have on the podcast another time with Craig and I is Julie. She kind of works hand in hand with the two of us as well through the medical side of things. So a lot of times what happens is as soon as I find a doggy that I really think will work with our rescue, with our team who really needs help, I'll start just including Julie and Craig in the conversation. And really it's, calling Craig and saying, okay, this is what I have. This is our needs. How can we make this happen? Sometimes the dog may come to us. Sometimes the dog may be going to another rescue, but one way or the other, between Craig and I, we're trying to figure out how we save that dog in the quickest way possible. So that's kind of where it all begins.
What are some of the qualifications for when you made the comment, one of our dogs and a good fit with Always and Forever? Like, what are you looking for?
So it's not so much that I'm looking for a specific type per se. Breed doesn't matter to us. Age doesn't matter, although we do great with our seniors. We have a great following for seniors. So it's one of those things where all of us have a passion to help the oldies that are in those shelters. But then we see a lot of puppies and mamas that need help. We look for, it's not so much that I look for the ones that need us the most, but somehow they always seem to pop up, and that's who we bring in a lot. A lot of times I want to try and make sure that, certain rescues do really well with certain breeds. So if there is a breed or an age or one that kind of stands out and it hits me that another rescue will do really well with it, I'll quickly call them and find out if they're able to take. If it's one that's pretty emergency kind of situation, then it's really just, it doesn't matter about anything. It's a matter of how can we help this dog, and then later figure out where it's going to go. It sounds kind of crazy, but it's amazing once you get the ball rolling, how your brain starts to think of all the different possibilities for that one dog. And then you just pick the best place, the best location, the best vet clinic, the best foster, whatever you need. It all starts kind of rolling into place. So it's pretty neat.
And then Craig, your version of it?
So I get tagged by, obviously Kelly and I work very closely together. So as she's identifying, pups that need to be transported, I'm taking a look at, when they need to come, where they need to go, what are the particular needs for this dog. If they're coming from out of state, obviously they have to have a health certificate. So we have to build that into the timing. I also get a lot of requests as we've expanded. When we first started doing this, we were just doing Always Furever pups. One of the things we found, however, there are a lot of rescues that do not have transport capabilities. And so we really expanded and tried to help other rescues because that increases the reach as far as number of pets we can help. I'd say right now about half the drives I do are actually for other rescues, trying to help them save pups. Some of those will come through Kelly. Like, Kelly's always included in part of that. But there are times when I get a direct request, and we'll coordinate those drives. So, for example, today I brought a mom and 9 puppies that were going from a rescue in Oklahoma City up to a humane society up in Hiawatha, Kansas. There was a mama that had been dumped out in a park. She had her puppies out in the cold. Sadly, lost 4 of them, but 9 survived, and so the mom and puppies took their freedom ride today and are now in the loving care of this humane society. But,
how many hours a day are you on the road?
Am I personally on the road? I do about between 45 and 50,000 miles a year transporting pups. But I've got an amazing team of drivers. I'd say overall we probably, trying to kind of calculate for the year, we've probably done a little over 500,000 miles this year in transporting dogs. So we've done this year we did a little over 900 dogs that we transported for either freedom rides or forever family rides. So I do this between planning and driving. I probably do this 50 or 60 hours a week as a volunteer. So keeps me out of trouble.
Insane. To even think about. You mentioned you have a team that helps out. Are those all volunteers as well?
They're all volunteers. Everybody volunteers their time. They volunteer the use of their vehicle. They volunteer, donate the gas and everything associated. Yeah, I've got a team that got a team of drivers. I got 592 drivers now registered with me. That I started off with 6.5 years ago. I started with 6 people, and now we've got a huge group of people that are registered with us.
You said 592?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I think this year, I was kind of doing the calculations for some end of year stuff. I think this year we had about 257 of them drove a drive for us at least once. And I've got a team of probably 30 or 40 people that do multiple drives. Some have done several dozen drives this year. So we've got an incredible team. Actually organized drives for about 4,400 dogs so far in the last 6.5 years. We've never not been able to fill a drive. So I put a request out there, and many times I have multiple people all volunteer to cover the same legs, and it's just an incredible feeling to, especially when you have these situations where they're urgent, or we'll need to get a drive together within an hour or two, and I'll make a call. I had one drive recently where we had an emergency drive. It was a medical situation, and we had to get the dog out in an hour, and we had to get it. So we had 4 legs of the drive. I made 4 phone calls, and we got the drive set up. I got an amazing group of volunteers that are so committed, dedicated, and provided a tremendous experience for the pups. We do things a little differently than some rescues. Is we want to start showing them that love and care from the moment we touch them. And so you're not going to see our pups pile into a van with 40 other dogs in crates. They're on soft dog beds. They're, getting talked to, loved, listening to soft music, all those things. So,
oh my God. And it's your own personal vehicle, correct? Everybody's own vehicles.
Yes. Yep. Everybody uses their own vehicles, and that's part of what they volunteer and donate.
It is always amazing when I see the Facebook posts come up requesting for drives and how quickly they are filled. Because I like driving. I've thought about it before, and some of them.
I'll get you signed up.
Does it involve any extra training or forms? We do have a volunteer driver. We do have a volunteer driver form. Then I just have, I collect just the contact information, types of vehicle information that are included in all the directions and instructions. We provide very detailed logistics instructions for all the volunteers, so everyone knows exactly what they're doing, what pups are going to transport, how they need to be transported, so they can prepare their vehicles properly. A lot of this kind of happens behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And we try to make sure that we always meet the time frames that are necessary for the pups. Our biggest limiting factor is primarily these health certificates, because it takes
of that to be able to do that. So that can be a challenge sometimes. But overall, we've got just a tremendous team. Kelly is amazing to work with. Julie's amazing to work with. And I got this incredible team of drivers. So I feel very blessed.
I have to say, I think we're a well-oiled system. I think we've got it down pretty well. I think we have a very slick way of being able to, we all kind of do our parts, and it all in the end comes together with Craig's amazing itineraries that he always puts together. And I always think to myself, as soon as they're out of that shelter or their environment and Craig has them in a car, I can just take a deep breath and everything's going to be okay. And it just feels really good.
I think it was our first season we had Craig, right? And I think, Craig, you mentioned that the farthest we've drove, or you guys drove, was it Florida?
Yeah, we've done freedom rides for some dogs coming out of the Miami area.
Okay, and so is that still the furthest?
Well, this year we did a drive that was 1,200 miles where we had a pup going to a forever home out in Montana, close to Yellowstone. So
Wow.
we did a drive out there. I think that was the longest this year. It was about 1,200, a little over 1,200 miles.
Yeah.
Wow. Have there been any plane rides, helicopter rides in transportation?
Yeah, we've had a couple. It's such a beautiful way that we can go further and a little bit easier on the animals. I do kind of like just the transport drivers having their hands on all the doggies and whatnot. I will say we don't have quite as a smooth system with getting the flights, but it's been amazing. And we've used Pilots and Paws, and they've been great. They're wonderful to work with. I think I'm just so used to Craig's amazing itinerary that I am very spoiled now. So anyone else's schedule plan is just not as thorough for me. But yes, we've been able to go from California to here. We've done, Tennessee.
In fact, one of the pups that I adopted originally went to Tennessee, and I realized as soon as I put her on the plane, I wanted her back.
Yeah.
So I arranged a flight to.
Okay. We'll lead into that. Craig, so you've adopted from Always and Forever.
Twice.
Just recently.
Fill us in.
Yeah, we added a sister for Ripley named Sydney, and it was a similar situation to this. Sydney was found as a stray, trying to survive on the streets with her puppies. So she was in the shelter about to be euthanized, and her puppies were going to be euthanized. So we did a freedom ride for all of them, brought them up, and fell in love with her, and decided to make her part of our family.
And Kelly, how many have you adopted?
Quite a few. Our last one, so at this time, is Brick. But we have had, Dolores actually came from the Florida area. So she's one of them that came from the Florida. We've also had Nina. Nina was, unfortunately, all those little ones have passed on. I think the longest we had with us was Strudel. She was our very first one. She was with us almost a year, almost made it a year. And then Nina was probably the second longest. We had her almost 2 years, and she was our last one who just passed away. And now we have Brick, who we also had Ducky. He was with us 2 months, actually. So he didn't last very long. He had thyroid cancer. So he came to our house to find as much love as possible, and he was amazing. And now, yes, we have Brick, who is hilarious. He's a knucklehead. He is all boy. As you can tell, he coughs and does gross things as doggies do. He keeps us laughing all the time. And actually, Craig has done all of our freedom drives for our doggies, except for, actually, no, you did Strudel too, because I think you brought Strudel from Lawrence down to.
I did Strudel, I did Nina.
Yep. Nina.
You did Kingston.
Yep. So it's been pretty amazing.
You brought Kingston into our lives. We'll forever be grateful, Craig.
Oh, I love that.
Love. Looking back at 2025, what were some of your most memorable intakes and freedom rides?
There's so many of them. And I think, Craig has the most amazing memory. So he can rattle off their names. He knows exactly where we brought them in from. So he'll be able to rattle it off right away. I think some of the ones that kind of stand out to me were the really rough ones, the really tough ones, the ones that really made you work, I guess is maybe somehow to say it. I think our 32 coming out of Oklahoma was phenomenal and exciting and scary. and overwhelming. And that I'll never forget. The crazy thing is too, you remember a feeling and you remember their sweet face. And when I get to know them, they don't have a name yet. They just have a number. And it gets me really choked up because they have so much. You look at them and you just see so much that you could do for them. And you know that it's going to be okay, but you can't tell them that. So that's when I know as soon as they get in Craig's car, I can just take that deep breath. Like it's all going to be okay. No matter, no matter if it's an hour with us or a lot longer. As soon as they get in that car, I know that their fear is going to start to lessen. And so it just makes you feel so much better. So I don't know. I think there have been so many amazing ones that every single one has something special that you just can't forget. And you're so proud of. So
2025 was probably a year that we had probably the most moms and puppies. We actually started off January 1st of 2025. There was a mama in Potosi, Missouri that had puppies that were out in the freezing cold and saved. And we actually did their freedom ride on January 1st and brought them. And since that time, I think we've done at least 10 sets of moms and puppies that were these last minute saves or saves where we're saving from, horrible environments or, environmental situations. So we've had, today was one. We've got another one coming up. Probably Saturday, we're going to be bringing 10 more puppies. So we've had a lot of situations like that where sadly people have dumped these dogs and they're out there on their own trying to survive. It's been a very fulfilling year as far as when you see these poor innocent little puppies and the mom who's caring for them and being able to save them. It's an incredible feeling.
Yeah. Seeing those mamas, everyone is always so drawn to the puppies and they're so cute and they're so innocent. And it's the mamas that hit me hard. I think how strong they are to try and keep everyone going.
Especially in the environments that you find them in. Yeah.
Yeah. So resilient.
In fact, the drive today was kind of fun because the place where we were delivering to Brown County Humane Society, where we delivered the mom and puppies today, about 3 weeks ago, we had delivered a mama who was very, very pregnant. And we completed her drive at 4:30, and she started delivering puppies at 7:30 that night, and had 13 puppies. So.
It still shocks me to hear some of these numbers of the size of litters. These 13, 14, the one you said earlier, Craig, that lost 4, but you still transported 12 or 13.
9 of them, yeah.
That's insane.
And they're healthy. I mean, they are doing pretty well. And that's why I just think these mama puppies these mamas are just incredibly strong and so resilient and have so much in them to save they're giving everything they can for their little ones. And it just takes your breath away. They're just amazing.
Well, and because of that, sadly, when we get them, a lot of times they're very, very emaciated because so much of the nutrition is going to the puppies. They've not been getting the right nutrition or enough to eat because they've been surviving on the street. And so a lot of them we've been getting, when we first get them, or they have to build their health back up. But it's the sacrifice the mamas are making for their puppies, and it's incredible.
It really is.
Kelly, I have to laugh that this is your first time on the podcast this year, but not the first time your name has been brought up. This season, you were on vacation and Jen tagged all of the dogs, correct? Does that happen often?
She has her way of doing that.
Does that happen often, or do all the dogs go through you?
Well, it was funny because this year I was pretty far away. And I get a text that says something like, I'm reading the messages. And it says, well, I don't know. Just tag them. I don't know. Kelly does that. And it's like I'm reading some of these messages and I'm thinking, oh boy, this is going to be good. I'm just going to watch the show.
It was the 32 dogs, right? And one.
That was different.
Okay.
So let's see. Craig, that was actually, I'm trying to think.
I know it was a 2 mom with 2 litters.
Oh no, so maybe it was.
We've actually had, Jen has a tendency, in fact, Kelly and I and Julie joked we're going to have to start going on vacation simultaneously. Because when we tell Jen that we're going to be on vacation, and she said, okay, I promise I won't tag.
We know
And
that's a
I think
lie.
I have a family vacation I always do in June, family reunion vacation. The first year I said that, she said, I won't tag any dogs. I was on my way to northern Minnesota. I made it as far as Cameron, Missouri, and I got a call that Jen said, well, I just tagged 16 that have to be out today.
That drive happened.
Oh my
And
God.
we laugh
So,
now, but
yeah. And I think the next year she said, I won't tag any. And that week she tagged 48.
yeah.
So,
Oh my gosh.
but,
I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. Can we backtrack a second though? And for people that are listening that might not know, what does it actually mean when you say you tag a dog?
So when you tag a dog, you're essentially putting your name on that dog is kind of what that means. But there's a process and you have to go through a process. You need your license and everything with the shelter or the location that you're with. Obviously, you have to be a reputable or I'm hoping that they're looking for all these things, reputable rescue or shelter. And then really it's kind of signing the rights over to that rescue. And then there's just kind of a process that you follow. So there's paperwork that goes involved in it. We have transfer paperwork. We have, work, like Craig said too, we have to do the health certificate depending on where they're coming from or where they're going. And then you have to work on the transport side of things. So you can't just say, I want that dog. I mean, I guess you could, but you just don't know. You want to do it all the right way so that legally everything is all your ducks are in a row and the doggy can come to you safely. So, yeah.
Have there been instances, I'm trying to remember from our past podcast with Wichita, where we have tagged dogs, but then they have still been euthanized?
Unfortunately, yes. We've had it in Wichita, we've had it in Oklahoma, we've had it, I'm sure, in other locations, but those are probably just because those are the biggest facilities that we've worked with. Things like that do happen, unfortunately. Yeah.
Both of you have been with the organization basically since the beginning.
I
Within the last,
was about, they were on the first year anniversary when I joined. And
okay,
I joined
so
May of 2019.
for a long time.
Yes.
From your roles and perspective, can you talk about how Always and Forever has evolved to what it is today?
Where do we even begin? I mean, you just stop and think about how each year begins and what all goes. I just think of every single year I've been here and the amazing changes that have happened in that short amount of time. Just by looking at Osawatomie, the amazing difference from the first time. I remember not even knowing where Osawatomie was, seeing what kind of shelter was out there. And I can't even call it a shelter when I first saw it, because it was literally a tin building that to look at gave me a stomach ache, thinking that animals were in there, the unknown that kind of went along with it. And then our cleanup processes with it. I mean, just the education around it that I think has generated is phenomenal. What people have done and come together and worked to clean up, and you go out there, you drive out there now and it's beautiful and it makes you happy and it doesn't upset you to drive back home. They're safe. They're not afraid. They probably are a little bit because it's different and new and it's still a shelter, but it's not anything like it used to be. So that alone. So if you just take one little piece and that's a huge piece, but that's just one piece that has been so beautifully created and upgraded and designed and amazing. And Craig, you can talk about some of that too, but that's just.
I think the biggest change probably has been our ability to, as we've grown. We've been able to add staff. When I first started, we didn't have staff, and so like when we tagged the dog, we were bringing the dog to the barn. I needed to make sure there's going to be somebody there to receive the dog because we didn't have staff there. And so I think we have this phenomenal group of people who are so dedicated to providing love and care to the dogs, and managers and all the staff members who are taking the dogs for walks and caring for them, all the volunteers that help. That's been a huge change. I think as we've evolved, as we've now moved to the lighthouse concept, to providing basically little homes for these dogs, totally changing the shelter environment. It's really, when you walk into some of these shelters and you hear this cacophony of sound and stress, and the dogs are so scared and shut down. Now being able to bring them into a situation where even if they're not going into a foster home, when they're coming to one of our facilities and they're going into their own little private room, and it's like their own little home. and the staff is there to care for them. The volunteers come and love on them. So that evolution has been wonderful. I look at the ability to, because of our wonderful donors, to financially support. I think this year we spent about $740,000 on veterinary bills, and so the ability to support that, because we take on a lot of these special needs dogs that have medical requirements that, sadly, if it weren't for Always and Forever, these dogs would be euthanized because some of these other rescues simply don't have the wherewithal to be able to take it on. But I think the way we operate on faith, always pushing the envelope and doing things that other rescues aren't, I think it provides a situation for us to always be improving. I'm constantly feeling challenged, and I am always motivated by the tremendous support from the volunteers, and it always excites me to try to do more when I see them doing more. So it's that energy evolves itself.
We've seen it.
Agree.
Every person that's on here, every single time we've gone, it's evident. I have one tough question for you, and then Sai will have an easy question for you to wrap this up. How do you both handle the emotions of not being able to save them all? Especially, Craig, when you walk into the shelter to retrieve the ones that have been tagged.
I don't handle the
that part. That part is very heartbreaking. I think, I look at there are so many dogs in need, sadly, and it constantly is growing. So I guess I always just try to focus on those that we can help and realize that the change we're making, not only for those dogs, but for multitudes of families, whether it's somebody that is having to give a dog up because the parent passed away or has dementia or going into a nursing home. So we're helping those families. Then also the homes that are receiving the dogs, that are adopting them, and the change not only for the pup, but also for the families. And so I always try just to focus on the pups we can save. But it is definitely heartbreaking because we certainly would like to save them all, and we just don't have the capability to do that.
I agree. I think I lean on Craig a lot and the rest of the team. I'm definitely I'm an open book. I mean, when I'm upset, everyone knows. When something hurts my heart, everyone knows. When I'm happy, everyone knows. And I need that support from the rest of them just to say, it's okay. We're in this together. Focus on the good, focus on the ones we can help, and we pray for the ones we can't.
I think that one of the things that's really grown from that perspective is before it was purely what pups A&F could help. But now with the relationships that Kelly's built with so many rescues and the support we're providing, transporting the dogs to these rescues, it really has expanded our reach and being able to help save. Like I said, this past year, it's probably double the number of pups that we could have saved if it was just A&F.
And I'm excited for that to grow. The more relationships we can make, the more connections we can kind of create. And just by also what we're doing at A&F, kind of leading the way with rescue and encouraging others to do the same, they've reached out to us and have asked, how do we start this? How can we make more of a difference? How can we actually help you? And so it is beautiful because of all of that. We can turn some of those sad situations into a much better one, knowing that we didn't give up. We kept fighting for them, and that's amazing. And I love it.
It's a beautiful feature, Kelly, for you to be able to wear your emotions and be so transparent, because it's not an easy job. And I think if you did try to even bottle all of that up, it would be extremely unhealthy. So let it all out, girl. I don't know how you do it.
I've got good people around me. That's for sure.
Sai, your question.
We need a cover dog. Can we?
Oh.
Yeah, do you guys have anyone for the cover dogs?
Let's think.
Wow.
See, that's a more fun question.
That is a fun question. So who was it last month?
I can pull them up. We've been having a very good track record with them.
Okay.
I think my favorite following right now is Sally Mae and the amazing life that she's living. She was just in Florida on the beach.
Yeah, amazing. She's she's doing good. That's a good one.
So let's see. We had Bunny recently to kick off the season. We had Moose, who was adopted. Let's see, who was Megan's? Megan picked Eclipse.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then last episode, it was Santiago
Oh, yeah. Okay.
in Wichita.
So let's see. Who do you
Okay,
think,
so I would
Craig?
like I would like to nominate Ocean.
Oh.
Ocean was part of a hoarding situation
Mm-hmm.
out of Garnett, Kansas, where they're only allowed to have 3 pups, and she had 17.
She had 17.
And so we took 14 pups.
Were they all inside?
Beautiful,
No,
but
unfortunately. They're all outside.
these dogs are just beautiful dogs. Ocean is probably mixed between cattle dog, Catahoula. He's a gorgeous dog, weighs about 70 pounds, 2 to 3 years old. Just an absolutely gorgeous dog. I don't think he's gotten the attention I would love to see him get, because he definitely deserves a loving family.
I agree. I think that's a perfect one.
He is added. I'm looking at his photos right now, and
Sheila, send me a
absolutely
picture.
adore. Okay.
Because I know you're looking it up right now.
I always do. As soon as they say the name, I pull it up on the website so I can
Yep. Ocean's
memorize.
Ocean it is.
Perfect.
Is there anything else you want to have people know about your roles or Always and Forever?
I just hope people know how much we appreciate the support. I've got, like I said, this team of drivers. I can't tell you how appreciative I am of the support they provide. Like I said, one of the challenges most coordinators have is getting a drive filled. And to say we've done 4,400 drives and never not been able to fill drives because of these tremendous drivers who always step up when I need them, and especially in these urgent situations where I'll make a call and literally people will drop everything and make it happen. It's just incredible.
That is incredible.
Anything on your end, Kelly?
I think I'm just really grateful for so many things. But like Craig was saying, all his volunteers, I think I'm grateful, obviously for our team and whatnot, but for the rescues that stand, that kind of stand with me and keep fighting right along with me. These puppies that Craig took today and the ones that we're going to be transporting in the next couple of days, it's a group effort. It's literally a couple of different rescues all fighting and not fighting, but fighting for them, reaching out and promoting and supporting each other and working together and getting these dogs visible to people that have never seen them, who very possibly could help us, and just working together so beautifully to really keep helping so many. Really fast, I think it's so interesting. When I first started doing intake, there was this funny vibe that you always got, that it was, you just kind of stuck within your own rescue and you didn't kind of spread the wealth. And it always just shocked me when I would go to someone else and say, well, do you want to just work with me? We'll just do it together, and you do this part and I'll do this part. And I would get so excited, and they would almost just stop talking, like, are you nuts? We're not working. It's my rescue and your rescue, not combine forces. And I'll just never forget how that started to switch, and how people started seeing the more we helped each other, the more dogs we could move. And I think that's what really energized me then, to think, okay, I might not be able to pull them all into Always and Forever, but we can still save them. So let's do this. Let's make it happen. Let's work together. And that's what I'm grateful of, because now I can call I have so many on a list, and I could call any of them. And we always know what each other can move. We know kind of our personalities now. And I feel like it's just such an amazing collaboration now, finally. And I hope that just keeps growing and growing, so we can keep saving more.
You've built a whole network. It's incredible. Oh my God. I love it. I cannot say enough thank yous to both of you and what you do and the time that you put into this all. It's truly one of the foundations of Always and Forever, to get the dogs out of the moments and the extreme highs and lows you both must feel on a daily basis. I just hope, it doesn't go unnoticed. And it's the beginning chapter for every single happy ending that comes through Always and Forever. So
That's so nice.
Well,
Thank you.
I personally, I know I get back more than I could ever give.
Me too.
you're making me emotional. Well, thank you both for coming on.
Thank
It's
you.
been great catching up with you. And I'll let Cy wrap it up.
As always, it's never too late for a happily ever after.